I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. Isaiah chapter 8. Christ shall be as a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense. Seek the Lord, not peeping wizards. Turn to the law and to the testimony for guidance. Compare 2 Nephi chapter 18. I also want to mention that this video does have a Joseph Smith translation in it. What the Joseph Smith translation is, this is an inspired translation or correction of the Bible done by Joseph Smith to restore those passages that had been lost over the years. Isaiah chapter 8. Moreover, the Lord said unto me, Take thee a great roll, and write in it with a man's pen concerning Maher-shalal-Hashbaz. And I took unto me faithful witnesses to record, Uriah the priest, and Zechariah the son of Jeberechiah. And I went unto the prophetess, and she conceived, and bare a son. Then said the Lord to me, Call his name Maher-shalal-Hashbaz. For before the child shall have knowledge to cry, My father and my mother, the riches of Damascus and the spoil of Samaria shall be taken away before the king of Assyria. Maher-shalal-Hashbaz means to speed the spoil, he hasteneth the prey. A couple of things here. Of course, just a man's pen. This is an engraving tool. It's not modern pens. It's a way to engrave into metal or wood or whatever. The prophetess is just a reference to Isaiah's wife. Whether she actually has the gift of prophecy or is just called the prophetess because she is the prophet's wife is unclear, but that's just a reference to his wife. And what this is saying, before he has the knowledge to speak, before the son is able to talk, Israel and Samaria will be conquered by Assyria. Now this is stated during the reign of Ahaz, and it's during the reign of Ahaz that Hoshea becomes king in Israel, and near the end of Ahaz that the Assyrian captivity happens, that the northern kingdom is destroyed. Now, the nation of Syria, or Damascus, is taken captive before Israel. But let us continue verse 5. The Lord spake also unto me again, saying, Forasmuch as this people refuseth the waters of Shiloah, that go softly, and rejoice in Rezin and Remaliah's son. Now therefore, behold, the Lord bringeth up upon them the waters of the river, strong and many, even the king of Assyria and all his glory. And he shall come up over all his channels, and go over all his banks. And he shall pass through Judah. He shall overflow and go over. He shall reach even to the neck, and stretching out of his wings shall fill the breadth of the land, O Emmanuel. Now, I'm not sure what the neck is. It doesn't really explain it in the footnotes here, but this is showing us that Assyria, like a river overflowing its banks, will wash over Syria or Damascus and Israel, conquering everything. And they will even penetrate into Judah and wreak havoc there. And when it says, the breadth of thy land, O Emmanuel, remember, Emmanuel is a name of Christ, as prophesied in chapter 7. So this is, Assyria will wreak havoc in the land where Christ will be born. I like the imagery of a river overflowing its banks. Remember, Assyria comes from the valley of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. It is between the two rivers is where it's centered. So the river overflowing its banks is a very nice analogy. I like it. Verse 9. Associate yourselves, and O ye people, and ye shall be broken in pieces, and give ear, all ye of far countries. Gird yourselves, and ye shall be broken in pieces. Gird yourselves, and ye shall be broken in pieces. Take counsel together, and it shall come to naught. Speak the word, and it shall not stand, for God is with us. For the Lord spake thus to me with a strong hand, and instructed me that I should not walk in the way of this people, saying, Say ye not a confederacy to all them to whom this people shall say a confederacy, neither fear ye their fear, nor be afraid. Sanctify the Lord of hosts himself, and let him be your fear, and let him be your dread. And he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense to both the houses of Israel, for a gin and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And many among them shall stumble and fall and be broken and be snared and be taken. Bind up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples. And I will wait upon the Lord that hideth his face from the house of Jacob, and I will look for him. Behold, I and the children whom the Lord hath given me are for signs and for wonders in Israel from the Lord of hosts, which dwelleth in Mount Zion. I like this. What is talking about here? The associate yourselves, counsel together. This is a telling the enemies of Israel or the enemies of Judah. You make your alliances. You come together with your counsels, and it won't matter because God is defending us. So take counsel together, and it shall come to naught. Speak the word, and it shall not stand, for God is with us. You guys can make all your alliances. You can come together and form all your armies, but God is protecting us. And then it states that Judah should avoid such alliances. They need to rely on God. It says, say ye not a confederacy to all them to whom this people shall say a confederacy. Don't join in. Don't make these alliances. Don't make this confederacy. Remain with the Lord, and the Lord will protect you. And then Christ is a sanctuary for those who follow him. But for those who are against him, for those who do not follow him, he becomes a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense. So this is saying that when we have God on our side, we are safe. When we turn against God, that's when things... Let us finish this out. Verse 19. And when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits, and unto wizards that peep and that mutter, should not a people seek unto their God for the living to the dead? To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. And they shall pass through it, hardly be stead and hungry. And it shall come to pass that when they shall be hungry, they shall fret themselves, and curse their king and their God, and look upward. And they shall look unto the earth, and behold trouble, and darkness, dimness of anguish, and they shall be driven to darkness. Basically there, because Israel turns to other sources of divination, to familiar spirits and peeping wizards, because they reject the prophecy and the revelation of God, that is why they are being driven into captivity. It's an interesting chapter. There's a number of things in there, but let us look at the Joseph Smith translation here. There's not a whole lot, and it doesn't seem to be real profound, but here we go. Verse 1 says, moreover, the Lord said unto me, take thee a great roll. So on, that's the King James. Joseph Smith added this as, moreover, the word of the Lord said unto me. The word of the Lord said unto me. I don't know, it's not a big change. Verse 4 in the King James, for behold, the child shall have knowledge, for before the child shall have knowledge to cry, my father and my mother. The riches of Damascus and the spoil of Samaria shall be taken away before the king of Assyria. Joseph Smith translation. For behold, the child shall not have knowledge to cry, my father and my mother, before the riches of Damascus and the spoil of Samaria shall be taken. I will say it's not quite as awkward in its wording, but I don't think it really changes the meaning that much. It's still that Damascus and Samaria will be taken captive before the son is old enough to speak. Verse 19 we have in the King James, and when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits, and unto wizards that peep and that mutter, should not a people seek unto their God for the living to the dead? The Joseph Smith translation we have, and when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits, and unto wizards that peep and mutter, should not a people seek unto their God for the living to hear from the dead? Now that addition of hear from the dead, that makes more sense. It clarifies meaning. But it also takes out the word that, unto wizards that peep and that mutter. But it just says the wizards that peep and mutter. Anyways, verse 20, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. Joseph Smith translation. to the law and to the testimony, and if they speak not according to this word. So again, just a brief, just a grammatical correction. Verse 22, and they shall look unto the earth, and behold trouble and darkness, dimness of anguish, and they shall be driven to darkness. This just removes the word they there. So just with translation, and they shall look unto the earth, and behold trouble and darkness, dimness of anguish, and shall be driven to darkness. So again, just a little update in language. There's no real profound change in meaning in any of that. But I will, on a final comment, show that this last part here is an apostasy, that it is describing apostasy, this dimness of anguish, driven into darkness, after the Babylonian captivity. Well, after the Assyrian captivity specifically, because that's what this prophecy is primarily talking about, is the Assyrian captivity of the northern kingdom. The 10 tribes are driven into darkness, meaning that they lose knowledge. They lose an understanding of who they are. So that's what it's talking about. This is a total apostasy of the lost 10 tribes, that they forget who they are. Anyways, sorry, I'm a little tired right now, so. Anyways, we'll see you in the next one.